And I talked to this dude in my office building. He has a life insurance company in my building. I talked to him. We just sat there and talked, and I was asking him about like universal life insurance. I was asking him about full term, whole life, all those things, and then just just the typical life insurance, like you was mentioning, paying $50 a month, or $30 a month for $10,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
And he told me literally, he said, "I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you don't have a full, was it whole life insurance, a full term, or universal life insurance, where you own that policy as long as you're paying that premium for the rest of your life, 60% of the time they don't even pay out the premium out, because one or two things: as you get older, they're gonna increase the price." To the point where you don't afford it, because the life insurance, think of it like a pot, right? Like you putting money every time you pay it. It's like a pot. You put it in there, and when you pass, you should get that money back, almost like a 401k.
For sure.
But this is for your life, and you paying into it. But the thing is, as you get older, your health deplenishes. So if you live long enough, you get penalized for that, because they're gonna increase the premium, and then it gets to the point where you may not be able to afford it because you're not working. You living on paycheck to paycheck, or you living off of Social Security, and you can't afford it now because you was making 50, 60,000, but you ain't invest enough throughout your lifetime. So now all of a sudden you living off 1,500 from the government, and maybe this little money you put on 401k, and that's it, which may equal out to $2K a month. So now you starting to cut stuff out, and insurance may be one, right? And then so that's part of one. The other one, they say people literally don't tell the full disclosure about their health over the time. So all they doing is like almost like, I got you.
You going crazy. Stocks going up, money going up. Stocks going up, money going up. Stocks going up, money going up, money going up. Stocks going up, money going up. Stocks going up, money going up. Teasing you, gotta go and get it. Make the money double way. Look, I'm Warren Buffett, John Paulson. Blockchains got a living house. At the rate I'm going, I done really lost. Might have took off and ain't talking.
Welcome to Take Flight Fraternity Podcast. You with your pilot, Quinn, a.k.a. Teacher the Trader. I'm with my co-pilot.
RONDON in the building.
Yes, sir. So I want you right now to go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe button, have your comments ready. Man, make sure y'all follow. We're about to drop some game right now. So me and Ron been having conversations, and unfortunately, it's a lot of, like, getting to that point talking about death, like it's a tough conversation to talk about death. And recently I had a family member, also Ron said he had a family member that passed away not too long ago. And a lot of times it's a hard conversation to have, but it's necessary, especially if you have built something throughout your lifetime, if you have kids, if you have trying to create a legacy. Thinking about the will, thinking about life insurance, thinking about those things. And a lot of times you don't leave that burden on your family, because, you know what I'm saying, if you thinking it's a burden on you, but then you're going to, leave and it's a burden on your family. And me and Ron was talking about it, and it was a tough conversation, but it's real, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's touch on... We can touch on the life insurance policy later. I'm gonna hit this 401k first.
Okay.
Because that's part of my Uncle Little legacy right there too.
Okay.
So he worked for Dallas Housing for about 20 years. 401k out of this world, like a $500,000 401k. Didn't spend none of it. He might have borrowed some of it here and there, to buy a car. Whatever the case may be, but never invested it. Let's put it that way, because we're talking about investments. Spending is cool, but investing it. So a lot of people work jobs for about probably their whole life. That's just the old way of thinking. We're going to get on a job, we're going to stay on that joker forever, retire, and it's cool. So I guess he still had that mind frame.
Keep on.
Oh, I guess he still had that mind frame to where he was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So he's looking at a $500,000 life, 401k. He got a life insurance policy and no kids. just a girlfriend.
So not married, just a girlfriend, and he done built all this. So had they been together for a long time? Like, is it like almost like, well, you know, a lot of people have, especially in the minority community, right? Like, that's your girlfriend, but as you grow up, it's almost like auntie, right? Like, because she been around so long, you wouldn't even know the difference. You almost call her like your aunt. So is it like one of those situations? Or was it just like they've been dating for a couple years and that's it?
Well, with this uncle, it's kind of different. He more secretive, quiet to himself type guy. So, I mean, I don't call her auntie or nothing like that because I really don't know her too much like that. But she been around for years.
Yeah.
So, you know, my thing, looking at his situation, I'm like, dang, dude had over $500,000 altogether with 401k and life insurance policies that he didn't put to work. He didn't invest none of it. So he worked all this, how I'm looking at it, my uncle worked all this time just to give it to somebody else to build a legacy. If they build, I don't know what kind of person she is. She might not invest in either. She might give it to her kids or whatever the case may be, but it just messed me up like, dang, man, dude worked all this time and didn't put it to use how he could have, you know what I'm saying? I guess he was just looking for that day that I turned, what you got to be to retire, 62?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Somewhere like that. So he was just in this, I think he was like 52, 53, somewhere around there. Wasn't that.
So ideally, do you think that was like the person he would want that to go to, or
that's the crazy part about it?
Do you think it's something where, you know, he wanted to go to other people, or was he closer to other people in the family where you think he would have been able to, like, you know, part that out different ways?
Well, it seems as if he left everything to her, which, I mean, if that was his choice, if that's how he felt, instead of signing over, you know, because you have people you can sign it over to, you can put them up on, like my kids, they up under my life insurance policies.
Uh-huh.
My 401k, if anything was to happen to me on that, it's going down, broken down between my daughter and my son, so they getting everything from me, but you know, his situation, I feel like, just my opinion, he can do what he want to do with his money that he worked for, but just my opinion, I would have left it to my sisters, brothers, because it's 8, it was 9 of them total. 8 of them left now, but now it's 7 after his passing, but I would have left something with them to keep building their legacy. At least that's your bloodline.
Right.
This woman here, you have no ties with. I'm not finna build a bloodline to something better than what mine could have been, you know, but that's one thing. He had a $50,000 insurance policy with his life insurance policy with his job, and I know we was talking about too with your wife's uncle.
Yeah.
How his got cancer, so you can elaborate on the getting cancer before I go further.
Yeah. So my wife's uncle, you know, he recently passed away. You know, rest easy. But the thing is, and it's ironic, right? Me and my wife was talking about our life insurance policies about a week or two before. Like, we was sitting sometime when we sit and have dinner and go out for dinner or dates, we have high frequency conversations a lot of times. And we was actually just sitting, I think we was sitting at somewhere like Glorious, you know what I'm saying? And we were having a conversation, and it was talking about life insurance, and it was like, I was telling her about like whole term and universal life policies, and I was saying these policies people pay like $50 a month, $60 a month just for $10,000-$25,000 a here and there, just enough to get the burial and a little bit to the side.
Yeah.
But the thing is, whenever you sit down and create these policies, and they ask you like questions, and sometimes they don't need health checks, but they ask you, do you have any previous health conditions?
Yeah.
And if you go on there and say no, thinking like, okay, I'm trying to get this policy, and you don't disclose any type of conditions you have, because, you know, he did have a health condition, but if you don't disclose this, it's a breach of contract.
Yeah.
You lying off the muscle. So when it's coming down to pay you out, they're not going to give you the money. They're not, and a lot of people feel like it's messed up. The thing is, you're breaching a contract. If you saying I'm in good health, to my understanding, but you know, to your understanding, you're not in good health.
Yeah.
That's when it's breaching their contract, because now you're lying on this application, and when it comes down because you may think you paying into it. You paying into it to go to the company. And life insurance is very, very like safe. They do the most safest stuff. So it's like, okay, we're gonna set you up with this policy. Are you in good condition? This, and that. All right, cool. We gonna give you that. This, and if you pass, this will happen. But if you don't update it, you don't let them disclose these things, it's fine print through there. People just be like, sign your name. Next, flip 5 pages, sign your name. Flip 5 pages, sign your name. What's in between those 5 pages you ain't reading is little details of fine print that's telling you like, hey, you don't disclose this and you don't let us know. Now it's a breach of contract. We don't have to pay out this policy.
Yeah. I even can speak on, like, at my job, they have it where if you smoke, your life insurance policy going to cost you higher than what it would the regular person that don't smoke. So a lot of life insurance policies, they check to see if you smoke, want to know if you're a heavy drinker. Some of them, depending on how high I get, they're going to come out and do a physical on you to see what's really going on with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but there's other ways. You can get the bare minimum, like the $10,000 policies, and that's what I would do if I was a person with bad hair. Just get that bare minimum contract where that policy where they don't even care. They just give you that little 10 and should go get a bunch of them 10s if you want to set somebody up. If you at least want to get buried right and leave your kids something. I mean, I see a lot of people, no shade on nobody, but I see a lot of people that's considered to be in the in-crowd own type guys, like, or women or whatever. And when something happened to them, they got a GoFundMe running around like begging for money. I'm like, damn, the same person with the Lewis shoes and taking trips all over the world. You need to borrow 100 from this family member, 500 from this family. You can't even get buried, but you portray this lavish luxury lifestyle, and you can't pray. Because most of them be about $20, $30 a month, $40, $50 a month. You know how high you want to go. You can get up to the hundreds, but just to get the bare minimum policy, just to get put in the ground where you're not a burden on your family, because most times you become a burden to your family. When you don't have no insurance, everybody's scraping up money. The other dude that got the money, like, shit, they were living better than me when they was alive. I don't want to give nothing. Yeah. So they holding on to a grudge. Yeah. Like, it's some crazy stuff, man.
And it's crazy, like, just saying that. But the thing is, people go in, and this is the thing, especially in the minority community, if you breaking down the ratios and breaking down the numbers and things like that, a lot of people smoke.
Yeah.
And you think they go into these policies say they smoke? Mm-hmm. No. Man, I can go on Snapchat and IG, whatever, 3 to 4 days a week, I'm seeing somebody posting drinks.
Yeah.
They posting drinks, and I like to watch this show called Suits. It's about lawyers. Mm-hmm. It's a little older. It started from 2009. I think they stopped making episodes 2019. But the thing is about lawyers. Mm-hmm. I think they had this episode where this dude's wife passed away in a car accident. Somebody hit her in a car accident. But like the day before, she took a picture on social media holding a drink in her hand. She made drink. He said she drunk randomly here and there, but they said they ain't gonna cover the policy because on the policy she said she don't drink. And this is a show and all, but I'm pretty sure like this is real life type of situations that happen. Yeah. You think these people gonna pay out $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, and you over here they gonna find a way. So if you got a life insurance policy and you say you don't drink, you don't smoke, but you on here popping up and you showing videos on social media of you pouring up some liquor every week or going out to drink and showing your drinks, or you over here smoking on camera. Hell, especially in the hood, you see people pouring up lean in some syrup bottles, shaking it with some Xanax pills. You don't think the life insurance policy gonna find that? Man, they about to.
They doing the autopsy.
They doing the autopsy, but at the same time, it's an investment. Mm-hmm. That is an investment. Like, they are safe. Life insurance is safe. They are so safe that banks invest into life insurance policy. They take your money. That's why you get 0.002, because you literally let your money sit in the bank, and the bank just go invest your money for them to continue to make money. Mm-hmm. And all they do is loan it out to people and invest it in different other little things, right? And one of the heaviest, and you can look this out, like Bank of America, the most heavy things that they invest in is life insurance companies and policies.
Yeah.
Because they know life insurance are strategic. They are strategic. Like, they are going to be safe in what they do. They're not just handing out money.
Oh, no.
And I talked to this dude in my office building. He has a life insurance company in my building. I talked to him. We just sat there and talked, and I was asking him about, like, universal life insurance. I was asking him about full term, whole life, all those things. And then just just the typical life insurance, like you was mentioning, paying $50 a month or, $30 a month for $10,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
And he told me literally, he said, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't have a whole life insurance, a full term or universal life insurance where you own that policy as long as you're paying that premium for the rest of your life, 60% of the time they don't even pay out the premium out. Because one or two things. As you get older, they're going to increase the price to the point where you don't afford it. Because the life insurance, think of it like a pot, right? Like you putting money, every time you pay it, it's like a pot. You put it in there. And when you pass, you should get that money back, almost like a 401k.
For sure.
But this is for your life. And you paying into it. But the thing is, as you get older, your health deplenishes. So if you live long enough, you get penalized for that because they're going to increase the premium, and then it gets to the point where you may not be able to afford it because you're not working. You living on, paycheck to paycheck, or you living off of Social Security, and you can't afford it now because you was making 50, 60,000, but you ain't invest enough throughout your lifetime. So now all of a sudden you living off 1,500 from the government, and maybe this little money you put on 401k, and that's it, which may equal out to $2K a month. So now you're starting to cut stuff out, and insurance may be one, right? And then, so that's part of one. The other one, they say people literally don't tell the full disclosure about their health over the time. So all they doing is like almost like, I got you. So it's important to pay attention to those details in that life insurance policy. Or, ask questions, like, okay, if this happened, that happened. A lot of people, it's a lot. What's that stuff that people be used to go around? Prime America?
Yeah.
They going around, Prime America people. They go around and want to sell these life insurance. They just out here hustling out life insurance policies, trying to get these premiums. And a lot of times, half of these people don't know details because they people like you and me that ain't really studied. They it's almost like a microwave company, right? Like these people like get in, trying to get people under them, work for them, and say, oh, this is extra money. But the thing is, you really need to have some classes and understand what's going on these policies in order to make sure you get the full advantage of it and set your family out without being a burden.
It's a very lucrative business, man, and this goes back way to slavery. Like, everybody, that know a little bit about the slavery, them slave masters that was beating them slaves till they die, they didn't care. They got paid. They had insurance policies on every one of them slaves. So they still got paid. Look that up. And they go back to the slave ships and all that was insured way back then when I first got into looking through the insurance. I'm like, dang, how could a slave master afford to just kill his property? Because they were property. They was considered property. Human beings were property. So, of course, property can be insured. So they insured, that was an investment at the same time, too, because they made money off of them both ways. So going forward, if you have the right insurance policy, you can actually borrow money off of that. I know you spoke on that once before too, right?
So So if you have, there's a couple of them, but it's like one called, like the one that I kind of like been looking into that I'm trying to transition into is called like universal life insurance. So it's basically, it's kind of like moving. It carries interest based off what the stock market doing, right? Yeah. So it's off an index. And if the index moves up, it cures more interest. If the index go down, you get nothing. Like you don't lose it, you just don't get nothing. So there's a floor, but there's a larger ceiling than the larger bottom, right? So you can pull money out of it, and also you can pay into it. You can pay extra money into it and allow that to cure interest anywhere from like 2% compounded all the way up to 12% compounded.
Yeah.
So this amount, I'm talking about like, just like we talking about keeping your money in the bank and you getting 0.002% interest compounded per month. Now you getting 2% to 12% compounded interest per month with the money that's in there. And then let's say you put, let's say for instance, you put 10K in there.
Mm-hmm.
You borrow that 10K out. That money will still sit in there as if it's never been pulled out. You're taking a loan out. So that money's still accruing interest every month. And it's a couple ways you can put, if you're making an investment or doing something smart with your money, and when you get your money, you can pay back your life insurance. Or you can pull money off the actual premium or the insurance, and then you can also I don't know the exact details, and I've been asking people about it, but you can pull money off of it, and then let's say you pass away, it'll pay back that loan.
Yeah.
And then whatever left over is transitioned into your family.
Okay.
So a lot of times people don't know about this, but this is what the rich people doing. And it's, to be honest, I done sat with a couple of people who do insurance or invest in brokers and talk to them, and it's like they discreet about it, bro. Like they don't want you to know these things. Like they're not like open about this right now. Like they're not telling you like, hey, this is an opportunity. They'll be very like, even if I come in telling them what I do know, and they be like, well, what is your plans? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to build generational wealth. Well, if you pay too much, it can hinder the policy, and if you don't pay enough, it can hinder. I'm like, well, give me the sweet spot. Well, what's your plans? I'm like, I want the sweet. Like, I'm sitting here with you, and you supposed to be the expert in it, because I'm not an expert, but I do read books, I do listen to podcasts, I do network and ask questions. But when you talk to these people who actually give out these policies, they won't tell you like the sweet spot. You got to almost educate yourself.
For sure.
And I literally just bought a couple books about this because it's been something that's on my mind. I want to set it up. And even if you have kids, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as you get older, your health condition different, right? Yeah. And it can change the price of your policy. But if you have kids, those policies are going to be cheap. Yeah. And their life expectancy is a lot longer than ours. Yeah. So you can pay more money into that, and you can pay into these policies until, they're 18, teach them about it, tell them keep this up, and allow them to pay to it. When they get to me and your age, they got, in a life insurance policy, they got probably $500,000 equity sitting in there.
For sure.
Or more, maybe $700K equity sitting there, depending on how much money you've been in there. And that's why I always say, I want to know about this, because if this is what the wealthy people are doing, not the rich. We ain't talking about rich. We talking about wealthy. It's a difference. Like the Kennedys, this is what the Kennedys do. The Kennedys do it, and they family can't touch the money that's in there. All they can touch is interest. And they are so rich where they do, and look this up, like Googled up the Kennedys net worth, the family net worth, like John F. Kennedy and they look, bro, they is loaded. Yeah. They is loaded. And the thing is, when somebody died, all they do is they built a trust. So let's think about like levels. They built a trust, and all they like investments, everything's in this trust. So property, everything. So if you a Kennedy and you say, I'm gonna go buy a house, you get money from the family, go buy the house. You sit in front of the board. You don't go to the bank and put in the application. Yeah. Your family is the bank. Yeah. And all they do is somebody pass away, that goes into the trust. And everybody in this trust everybody that's in there in that trust, almost like you done joined a fraternity by just being born in this family. You get this life insurance policy. Whenever they can put it on you, they'll put their life insurance policy on you. Yeah. And whenever somebody passed, that money just going into the trust. So imagine every time somebody in your family die, 1 million, 2 million, 2, 3, 4 million, just every time. So when people I know this happens. Sometimes people within the span of 2-3 years, just 4 or 5 people passing away.
For sure.
Especially when COVID was hitting, it was people going left and right. You know what I'm saying? And people are hurting. But just imagine if you had the financial literacy set up in order to go ahead and take that advantage, and you taking, that's $5 million.
Man, I agree. Life insurance policy can set you up for a lifetime, man, what we don't understand in our community. Like, When my first uncle passed, he had one $10,000 life insurance policy. So the other family, we all, they pitched in and got him buried, true enough. But, man, after that, I was ready to get an insurance policy on everybody. And some people look at you kind of strange like, man, I ain't finna set you up to win, but don't let your death be in vain. Go on, set me up. You dead. What good are you doing anybody dead? You on to the next level. So, yeah, go on and leave something behind. And it's not like you putting in your money. All you doing is giving me your social. I'm putting in my money, investing in you. And if you, hell, maybe I'll die before you do. But that's up to you to get one on me. But I'm ready to get one for everybody in the family. So whoever go, you just keep on adding to it. I'm going to get you buried, get your nice suit, dress, whatever you want it. You get put away in that. But you can set people up for a lifetime with these good insurance policies. And to step outside of that for a minute, the next subject that we was going to touch on was the putting me on to your credit line.
Yeah.
Credit line. So that's the same thing with family members. You got family members with these high-end credit cards, and you got a family member over here that's trying to build credit. Don't be scared to add that person on to your credit line. Ain't nothing they can do with it. You just add them on as an authorized user. So elaborate to the people about the authorized user as a credit card.
And this is the thing. I think in the minority community, especially if it's where it's poverty at, I think a lot of people have trust issues, bro. Like either that's my guy and I'm gonna go to the end of the world for him, or nah, I don't trust nobody. My circle ain't even a circle because I don't trust nobody. And they don't even trust their own family. And the thing is, a lot of times it is people in your family trying to get over on but you gotta know your family. If they ain't that type of people, you shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, the thing is, if you can put somebody as an authorized user for a trade line to help, increase their credit history, I personally think the best way to do that is for them to first do as much as you can to fix your credit yourself. Don't just go in there and you ain't paid your car, you done let these apartments go,
because they can
and then
see
all of a sudden
that.
you want to just, hey, put me on. If you don't put effort towards it, you done got you a secured credit card, you done put efforts to pay back these money, because you owe these people money. Like you didn't pay them. So like, if you didn't pay them, what's the point? Like, okay, but if you done made efforts to like pay these people off, correct your wrongs, you should go in and then talk to somebody like, hey, I'm trying to like restore my credit. I have did X, Y, and Z. I need credit history. Would you mind putting me as an authorized user on your credit card? Literally would take about 5 minutes. Social security number, date of birth, full name. You don't even got to send them a card. You can get a card and send it to yourself and let it sit, and they won't have no access to it at all.
For sure.
And you don't even have to do it that long. After about 6 months, you good. You can take them off. That's all they probably need, about 6 months. Put it on there for 6 months. That's all you would need to do. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, in the minority community, like, we need to start doing things and start building trust amongst one another and stop that, like, I was listening to podcasts and talking about, like, the minority community, especially African Americans. We a lot of us are broken. A lot of us are broken. A lot of us are not having trust amongst one another, and it's kind of like hurting us. It's hindering us in the long run. And the thing is, first of all, we need to educate ourselves. Like, man, you know what I hate? You get on social media and you see these people reposting these damn conspiracy theory ass people. The government wants you to get this vaccine because it's gonna put a chip in your body and this. Man, bro, look, do your homework. Like, don't, like, people find one little sentence that says something and just run away with it. And look at the whole picture, like read the whole thing. People read the introduction paragraph and be like, this is what it say right here. I'm like, bro, what does the rest of it say?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think is educating yourself, like doing your own research. Don't look at Wikipedia. People love Wikipedia. They go on Wikipedia like that. Is not Wikipedia not a credible source? I can go on Wikipedia and say
add whatever you want
and say Michael Jackson was a hip hop was trapping in the trap. And it can be on Wiki. Man, bro, look at her. They said Michael Jackson used to trap back in the day.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah, we definitely need to start sharing the wealth, man. If you able to put your fellow person in position to win, man, put them in position to win. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build teams, man, not just stars. We all want to be the single star. Show up to the big family barbecue. We the only person with money in our pocket.
Welcome home, Roscoe Jenkins, boy.
Everybody want to show up the top dog. Like, I'm not walking behind nobody in line, like, nowhere. Like, we walking side by side as men. No matter how much money you got, I mean, but at the same time, I'm still willing to learn, listen, and observe. Like, I cling on to you because you ahead of the game. I was still behind. Like, I was getting there, but you so far advanced, I'm like, sure, I got to cling on to him, and you giving me information that's to be sold because plenty of people are selling it. So if you're able to bless somebody, and that's about you building your team. If you build me up to put me in position to win, shoot, if something happened, because we ain't always guaranteed to stay on top. So if you was to fall, say, Ron, let me get such and such from him. Man, I owe this man that. So, the same way with you. Like, you see me, I get money the different ways I get it. Shoot, I know if I follow you, that credit is there. You like, yeah, he'll go get her. Hey, Quinn, let me hold 2 or 3 times, man. I'll get it back to you. I'm pretty sure I can go to you and get that because you see, like, my works. I'm just not talking. You see, like, he going to get it one way or the other. I know he going to get it back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about building a great team. The better the team, man, the further you going to go. If you trying to do it solo, that route going to be long in the mud trying to get to that finish line, man. So
It is. And before we end it, man, I want to, like, tell this story that I had since we own life insurance policies. And the thing is educating yourself, right? Educating, trusting, and just kind of like educating yourself about what's next. So, like, there will be people that may listen to this and take action, right? And they may not have a big amount of money to go look for it, but they may have a home, they may have cars, they may have that 401k.
Yeah.
And they may have a policy, and they may do a will, right?
Yeah.
And I sat this week. I sat at a table and I had a conversation. We had like a little high frequency conversation about investing and things like that. And the dude told me this story about this dude who left a will, and he had a blended family. You know what a blended family is?
I don't know. There's different groups of minorities.
So a blended family is like, for instance, like you got kids, you meet a chick, y'all get married, she got kids, but y'all don't have nothing together. Like y'all like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, like that's what's called blended family. But he did have an ex-wife. So the thing was that he did his policy. He passed away, but what he did was get on LegalZoom. You can get on LegalZoom if you want to do his will, but he did his will on LegalZoom. So he had an insurance policy, properties, cars, all that. So he went on LegalZoom, did it. So he said everything, he was going to leave everything to his wife and his kids. Like, his wife was going to be able to disperse it amongst the kids, so it was up to how she wanted to leave it. And this is what happened. One word didn't go. He said it was going to be like, it was leaving this, and she was going to be the owner of all his estates and this like that. But one word, one verb that wasn't in there was soul. She wasn't going to be the sole owner. Yeah. So guess what happened? All 401k, half of it had to go to baby mama.
Dang.
All property, half of it had to go to baby mama. Because the kids got, half of it went to the kids, half of it went to his wife. So think about it. If he had $500,000 in there, his baby mama got to have custodian of that $500,000 because she had the kids, and them kids was minors. So she got to have custodian half of that. had to have custodian half of the properties. So think about it. If you got a bitter baby mama and you doing one and you married and you ain't set it up right, everything, she can still catch everything because you didn't set it, and it was just one verb because it wasn't sold in there. Because he already told his wife what he wanted and how he wasn't gonna leave it. Like, hey, when they turn 18, make sure they get this, and this, and that. Yeah. Make sure that. And he passed, and it wasn't set up all the way. So if you do get a will, you do get a policy, do your homework, ask questions. Yeah. Be like, I need to make sure this is correct, this is legit. If you need to get you a state lawyer, a lawyer about all that, get that. Because we don't know what's next. We don't know what can happen tomorrow. We don't know, but we don't want to leave our family in hardships, and we don't want to be sitting on here with a GoFundMe or you having your girl or your wife or your mama calling friends and family. Man, you think you can give some money? Because this is the thing. People got to invest in putting money in to put you in the ground, and that's a hard thing to say no, but at the same time, it's like, man, this almost might as well say, let me get 1,000 and burn this thing real quick.
Yeah. Stressing granny out. She all at church asking pastor for $1,000. No pastor done spent that $1,000.
And man, look, let me put this on here. Man, if your family leave you something, don't go sell mama house, bro. No, don't go sell granny house, bro. Like, people out here selling granny house and mama house
off the rip
for $50K.
Yeah. Taking pennies
to the dollar because, oh, man, it's shit. I'm trying to get up on. Don't know. Look, it be like dumb stuff. Yeah. Man, ain't nobody want to cut that grass. Bro, you about to, because you got to think about it as a minority, bro. It's 2020. If your granny passed away and she has own a home, right, that means most grannies have to be born, if they're around ours, at least in the 1930s. Yeah. 40s, right? Because my mom was born in like the 60s. So I'm assuming most people, mamas was born in the 60s, 70s. That's around our age. So this is the thing. If your grandparents were born in the 30s, 20s, or whatever, that means their parents were sharecroppers or in slavery. That means we not that far generation removed from slavery. So that means that's literally like saying, your mama was a slave, you owned a home, but your kid's gonna go sell it for $50K. Bro, you gotta understand, bro, that's lineage. Yeah, kid. Like, bro, like if y'all family leave y'all something, bro, like, man, do not go sell it, bro.
At least make money off of it, just rent it out. Because that $50K, that's what.
Bro, that be gone, bro. That be gone. So, because if you think you need $50K is a lot of money to you, that $50K is gonna go. Because you're not gonna put that money a lot. Because I think me and you was talking about investing. I was telling you how I want 100 shares of Google, 100 shares of Amazon, 100 shares of Square, and I was telling you, I was like, yeah, bro, it's gonna run about over 50. Yeah. And you was sitting there like, man, I gotta save up some more money. And I was like, but think about it. That's me just wanting to invest. That money can go. Like, for sure. 50 ain't nothing, especially in today's economy. There ain't nothing. Find you a way to use and leverage that. Fix that house up, put it on Airbnb, rent it out. Take equity out the house, put money back into it. Use that money to go buy another house. Yeah. But do not go sell it, bro. That is the most dumbest thing to do. And if you got siblings and you got a parent and your parent own property or have things, bro, right now you should go to your parent and talk about estates, talk about a will, because now you're gonna be arguing and feuding with your brother. Yeah, because they left
it all to him. It's in his name, and then now you trying to burn down the house. Don't want nobody.
Or it's left to both of y'all, and he want to sell it, you want to keep it. Yeah. Y'all getting into it, and they gonna give you an unreal. Well, give me $100K for it, bro. Like, bro, this house probably worth only $120. If it's 50-50, it's 60. Yeah. And they ain't gonna want to hear that. So, bro, this divides family so much, and we can get in the rabbit hole on this, but man, we might have to do a part 2 one day about this. But the thing is, man, look, if you still got your parents around, and talk to them about this.
For sure.
Talk about a will, talk about estate planning. Get a lawyer, set it up. Even if it's through LegalZoom, just make sure the verbiage is all right. If you got life insurance, if they got life insurance, plan that out, man. You get life insurance. If you got property, plan that out with how it's gonna go to your kids, how it's gonna be divvied up. And if you really got stuff, if you really building a conglomerate, building something, man, learn about trust. Yeah. Trust, putting all your family on insurance, putting all your LLCs and businesses in that and build that up the right way, man. But, man, appreciate y'all time. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow. Appreciate that. Until next time, appreciate y'all tapping in. Let's go.
Yes, sir.